You know, I've learned something over the last several months since we started up our series, which is called Boxes of Water. If you're not familiar with this series, I reached out to you quite a while ago and I said, hey, listen, do you know anybody that's in trouble with their fish keeping hobby? Do you know somebody that needs help? Lisa and I would like to go to them and help them out with their problems and keep them in this hobby. The reason why our website is called keepfishkeeping.com is because we want to keep people in this hobby. We know that so many people bail on this hobby before they ever experience the true benefits of this hobby. So if you know people, email us kgboxesofwater@gmail.com. And that invitation is still open to this day. If you know somebody, we would love to try to go out and help them. I've gotten so many emails, people making amazing suggestions, and some people also emailing, nominating themselves, which always makes me feel weird. But regardless of how they come to me, I've had so many emails, and there's been a very common thing that I've noticed that is the issue with so many people. And if they would just get this one thing, it would change the hobby for them forever. It would make them enjoy this hobby so much more and could prevent them from quitting. It's a product that you can go out and buy today. I'm going to encourage you to do it if you haven't, but it's not something that I sell. I'm not doing an advertisement for me at all. I will benefit not at all financially by you taking my advice on this video, but where I will benefit is being somebody that was involved in giving you this little tip that kept you in this hobby. And that makes me feel good. Now I'm going to be upfront with you and tell you this is not going to be a cheap tip. I don't know what you consider to be cheap, but this tip that I'm going to give you, this product that I'm going to tell you to go out and buy that will change this hobby for you, I'm just telling you, is not cheap. But there is one and only one that I would recommend to you to go out and buy. There is a lot of knockoffs, but it's just not worth it. You end up going out and buying the real one anyway. It's just inevitable. It's going to happen. It is the best in the business. But before I tell you what that product is, this mystery product that literally everybody knows about, but for some reason not everybody has them. I think it should almost be required when you buy an aquarium, you get one of these because it is a life-changing thing. I want to tell you why I'm doing this. Why is this something that I felt worthy of doing probably the third video on this channel about this product? Well, it's because of a very common email that I've received. I got so many emails for the Boxes of Water series from people that were saying, my 82-year-old grandfather or my 78-year-old aunt is really struggling. She's 78. She can't be lugging buckets around. She tries to do her maintenance on her aquariums. She takes a cup and she, does little water changes, but she can only do so much because, well, she's 78. There's a lot of 78-year-olds that can go out there and run marathons, but most people at 78 can't do that, or they just don't want to. And I don't blame them, because who wants to carry buckets around? I'm 50 and I hate carrying buckets around. I'll do anything I can do to avoid that. But these are people that enjoy the hobby. They want to stick with the hobby because it brings them so much peace and happiness, but they just can't keep up with it. They can't afford to pay somebody to come and take care of their aquariums. They want to stay in, but they're afraid they're doing a bad thing because their fish are being tortured in nasty water. They want to be able to do their maintenance, but they just can't do it. They just can't do it. Regardless of what you see, most fish keepers, the vast majority of fish keepers, have no choice. They have to do water changes, because contrary to what you might see on YouTube and what you may think because of what you see on YouTube, what you see on YouTube is not normal fish keepers. I don't know these numbers from facts. I just know based on talking with people and hearing people's stories and knowing fish keepers, I am a firm believer that 85% of this hobby is not crazy people like us. They're people that want this to be as simple as possible, require as little work possible, but they want to have all of the benefits of being a fish keeper. I don't blame those people. They love this hobby, but they don't really call themselves fish keepers. They're just somebody with an aquarium, and they know the benefits. They know how amazing this lifestyle or hobby is, but they just can't keep up with it because they're 80 or because of whatever reason. And there is a very simple thing. You already know it's coming. You've figured it out by now. I bet you so many people have figured it out what I'm going to recommend to these people, because it's something that an 82-year-old could use, and it would not hurt them at all. You don't need to be really strong to be able to use this product. You don't need to work out first to loosen up. You don't need to do some stretches or hang upside down on an inversion table. You don't need to do any of these things. You don't need to be in shape. You don't even need to have 2 arms. My friend, Bill Mason, only has 1 arm. He uses something similar, not exactly what we're going to talk about today, but he figured out a way. Most people can't figure out that way to do what they need to do while not breaking their back at the same time. It's very simple. Did you figure it out yet? It is what I consider to be the best thing that has ever happened to the fish keeping hobby. I don't sell this product because, well, I just don't. I've got a cat attacking my chair. One of the downsides to having a fish room with cats in it. Can you let me do this, please? I love you. There's been a lot of inventions for the fish keeping hobby that have really changed the hobby forever. LED lights, for one. Canister filters are a really big thing that, yeah, I mean, love them or hate them, they're a vital part of this hobby, particularly when you get to larger aquariums. There's been so many innovations in this hobby, but at the end of the day, it's still a glass box full of water. There's not so many things. I don't know what AI is going to be able to do for aquariums. We're not going to be able to completely, I mean, I suppose you could automate these kind of things, but most mere mortals like me have to do these things themselves. They can't depend on robots. Elon Musk, there's a big market out there for people that need to maintain aquariums. Maybe you could invent a robot that takes care of aquariums. Give me a call. We can talk about it. But anyway, there's very few things that really change the game. But this product that was created, I don't know when. I don't know when it was created, but when it was created, I think that was the best day ever. And that is when the Python water changing system was invented, released for sale. Now, I'm not going to put any links for you to buy this product. I don't have any affiliate codes. I'm not going to put links up. I'm just not going to do it because, yes, it is available on Amazon. I believe Amazon's ruining this hobby, so I'm not going to recommend to you to buy the product that I think saved this hobby from the company that I think is ruining this hobby. We're not going to get into the whole Amazon debate here. If you're someone that orders off of Amazon, I'm not going to yell at you. You do you, but I'm not going to put a link to Amazon in the description. What I am going to tell you to do is do what I'd like to see everybody do when they need fish keeping products. And this is coming from somebody who sells fish keeping products. I want you to go down to your local fish store. That's where I want you to go and buy it. Go to your mom and pop. Yeah, you can go to the big box stores. It's still better than Amazon, but go to your mom and pop. I promise you, they sell these. They might only have one because it's not exactly a cheap product, and it's a product that a fish keeper is really only going to buy one time. That's how good it is. So they don't sell a ton of them. They might only have one, but they will have them most likely. The knockoffs are just not as good. I'm sorry. The real Python, the green one with the clear tube. I'm not going to name names of other brands, but I've used other brands. They just don't compete. I'm not going to say the Rolls Royce. It's just the Python is the best one. I don't think there's anybody that would ever even argue that. The Python system, if you don't know what it is, I'm going to tell you what it is right now. And then again, I'm going to encourage you to go down to your local fish store and buy one of these. This is a system that hooks up to your sink. They have all the adapters. Like 4-way adapter comes with the system. But if that doesn't work for you, then they sell all of the adapters. And a nice thing about it, I've actually experienced this myself. I have contacted Python before because even though I know plumbing and I know all of these fittings and I couldn't get it to work on a particular faucet that I had. I could get it to work on one that was way on the other side of the house, but I wanted one that was closer to the aquariums and I just couldn't get it to work. And it was a house that we were renting. I couldn't just swap out the faucet. So I contacted Python. They got right back to me. They knew exactly what I was dealing with and they recommended to me the right adapter to get for it. I ordered it, cost like $4. It came in and life was good. It hooks up to your faucet. It can be a bathroom sink. It can be a kitchen sink. It could be the sink that's in your laundry room, the slop sink, whatever it is. It hooks up to the sink and it prevents you from ever having to carry buckets. Why? Because you will drain your aquarium. You'll siphon it out with this hose that's going all the way to your sink and all of the nonsense will go right down the drain. And then when you're done with that, you flick a switch and you refill your tank with the same hose. It is glorious. It's the best invention to ever hit this hobby. Tell me there's an invention that's better than the Python system. I will argue to the death about this and I will say it to your face because I'm not afraid of you. It is the best invention that's ever happened. I don't know if Python is the inventor of this system, but I know they're the best ones at it. The materials that they use, it's just beefier, it's sturdier, it's stronger. I've got two of them right now. We've got one for dirty water and one for clean water, and we've had them 2.5 years, never an issue at all. I've had them in the past go like 10 years, no problems, easy. They last forever. They're built really well. And this is where the Python shines over some of the other brands. I'm not telling you the other brands don't work, but what I am telling you is they're not as firm and strong and hardy and beefy as the Python is. The Python just lasts longer because of the way that it's made. You can buy the cheaper ones. Sure. You'll get the same effects. It'll operate exactly the same, but it will end up breaking and you'll replace it. And that's when you'll go buy the Python. So why not spend a little extra money? It's not like you got to go take out a second mortgage, but spend a little bit more money, get the real one, and then you're going to be so glad you did because you're not going to end up buying it twice. When you have this, it's going to encourage so many different things. First of all, it's going to encourage you to want to do the maintenance. You're going to see it. You know it needs to be done. You're not going to dread needing to do the maintenance. Why? Because you're just going to hook up the hose and then you're going to stand there and you're going to do your work and you're not carrying any buckets or anything like that. No brainer, simple. And since it's so much easier, guess what? You're going to want to do it more because it's not a huge hassle to do this. So when you're doing it more, you're enjoying this hobby more. You're connecting with your aquarium because you're doing the things necessary to keep it healthy and keep it looking good. You feel better about yourself. Your fish feel better. Everything is better because you spent $100 on a system that you can hook up to your sink and never have to carry buckets again. Now, there are a couple of questions that always pop up in the comment sections of these videos, and they will come up in this one too because people won't take the time to watch the whole video before they put this in the comment section. What about water conditioners, and what about sending clean water through the same hose that you're sending dirty water through? John, you just said it. You've got two, one for dirty water and one for clean water. So like, obviously it's a problem to send clean water through. No, it's not. It's not. It's fine. You can use it for both clean and dirty. The reason why we have two is because we have two faucets. We have a laundry sink or a slop sink in the fish house. It was here when we bought the place that has two individual sinks. So we can be draining one tank and filling another one up at the same time. That's why we did it. And so we just use one for each. But I will tell you this, when I fill up this tank here, guess what I do? I put them both in there. I put both of the Pythons in there and I turn them both up full blast. Why? Because when you only have one, the pressure is it's just there. It's an old building. It doesn't have huge water pressure. When I use both, it fills it up faster. That's why. I ain't got all day. Fill it up. It fills up twice as fast when I hook up both of them. But that just goes to show you, you can use it for both clean and dirty water. You don't need to drain the tank and then clean it all out spotless and then refill it. No, it's fine. You're going to be fine. What you're going to do is you're going to vacuum out your gravel or your sand or whatever it is that you have. You're going to let that all go all the way back down. So you're basically going to let the siphon continue until there's no more water in there. So obviously pulling the Python out, letting it drain completely down into the sink. Then you flick the little valve and you start filling up again. It's not a big deal. The other one is water conditioners. I don't understand. I'm putting water in there that it's not conditioned. It's got chlorine in it. It's going to kill everything. No, it's not. It's very simple. What I do is I do my draining of the tank. I put the hose in there. I just dangle it in there. I let it start filling up and I put the water conditioner in while I'm filling it up. That's all. It doesn't have to be more complicated than that. And yes, it is completely fine to do it that way. You're not putting poisonous water into your aquarium when you're filling it back up again. Put the water conditioner in there. It's not a big deal. I've been doing it that way for as long as I can remember, and I've never had any problems. I don't require there to be water that's already conditioned and it's already up to perfect temperature. And I don't worry about all that. I just put it in there, put the water conditioner in, and we're good to go. The other thing is temperature. People are concerned that what if the water's too cold? What if it's too hot? What do I do to make sure that the right temperature water is going in there? I don't go overboard with it. That's what I do. If the water's a little bit cooler that's going in there, it's not going to be a big deal. I don't have fish that are so delicate that they're going to die if the water is 2 degrees lower than it was when we started the water change. It's not an issue. I've got a cat completely losing her mind, and I don't know why. It's really distracting. I don't know what her problem is. She's running back and forth. She's being a crazy cat. If this is something that is a humongous concern for you, you can stick a little thermometer in there and measure the temperature of the water that's going in and get it as close as possible to what you're putting in there, and you should be fine. If you're doing a 90% water change, then I would want to get it a little bit more accurate to what the temperature should be. But if you're doing a 30, 25% water change, even if the water that's going into the tank is 10 degrees cooler than the water that's in there, it's all going to mix in and it's going to be fine. Yeah, the temperature will drop a little bit, but then your heater will bring it right back up again. It's nothing to panic over. These fish are not delicate little flowers like you might think. They're going to be fine. In fact, they might even appreciate a little breath of cool, fresh air, water. But you know what I mean? They're not going to die because you're putting water in that's a little bit cooler than the water that's in the tank. But again, the reason why I'm talking about this is because so many of the emails that I got, I said to myself while I was reading it, a Python system would fix this problem. It's instant. Because so many times the emails came through where it was, you know, my aunt is disabled, or they're old and they just can't do it anymore, or whatever it is. It's a Python. That's the answer. I actually considered reaching out to Python like, hey, do you want to supply me with a supply of Pythons? Because I can give these out like you wouldn't believe and make videos about it, because that was the resolution to so many problems that people were emailing me about. They're just not doing enough of maintenance because they can't. John, can you help them to figure out an easier way to maintain them? And a lot of them were like, can you install a plumbing system that would, and it's like, well, no, I can't do that. But what I can do is bring you a Python system. It's just a no-brainer. If you have one 20-gallon aquarium, it might be a little overkill to get you a Python. But if you're dealing with larger tanks, 55, 75 and up, and maybe you've got a few tanks, Python system might just save this hobby for you. I cannot recommend it more. And I'm recommending to you a product that I don't even sell. How about that? I'm going to reiterate one more time. Go to your local fish store and buy a Python. You're going to pay the same money as you would pay off of Amazon. Yeah, you're going to be inconvenienced by having to go down to the fish store. But when is that ever a problem? Going to the fish store is an event. It's a beautiful thing. We all love to do that, right? Don't be lazy. Go down to the fish store. If it's your aunt that's struggling to maintain her aquariums, buy her one for Christmas. This video is coming out after Christmas. So buy her one for her birthday or something. I don't know. But that's the way you do it. And I promise you, this is a product that will keep these people in the hobby. It'll keep you from losing your damn mind. And it'll be the happiest decision you've ever made. Happiest? The best decision you've ever made. And you will consider every single penny that you invested in that Python system to be worth it because it's the best. Hey, you're welcome, Python. I haven't had a conversation with Python since that one faucet that I needed a fitting for. I'm just doing this because it's the right thing to do and because it'll help a lot of people. You're welcome. Anyway, thank you so much. If you enjoyed the content and you want to see more stuff like this, click the subscribe button. We put out videos like this every single week, and we have the Boxes of Water series. Hopefully we'll be able to get that started again here soon, and you'll enjoy those too. Maybe you'll see me bring a Python to somebody someday. How about that? Anyway, thank you so much. I'm going to keep rambling, so that's it. Bye.